Welcome to Dogwood Gardens YouTube channel. I'm Carolyn Gibson, family herbalist and herb teacher. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to make an echinacea root tincture with dried echinacea root and alcohol. I'm going to be using Echinacea augustifolia. Many herbalists consider Echinacea augustifolia to be more potent than the Echinacea purpurea, even though most of the research was done on the purpurea. Now, of course, you're going to need your dried echinacea root and you're going to need alcohol. Usually you need either 80 proof vodka or brandy or 190 proof Everclear, and they also make 190 proof wine. For roots, seeds, and bark, the 190 proof alcohol or Everclear is preferred. Now, what you're also going to need, you're going to need a strainer. A funnel makes it easier. I like to use the reusable coffee filters. Now, traditionally, the herbalist would use either a muslin bag or cheesecloth. You're also going to need a container to strain your herb into when you are finished making the echinacea root. You're going to use a jar with a tight fitting lid. It can be small, medium, or large. You're going to use 1 part dried herb root to 2 parts alcohol. Now I have and you need to mark it. If you don't mark it, I know you think you remember it, but I promise you, if you've got several herbs going, you are going to forget which is which. Now on this jar, this is an 8-ounce jar, so I went ahead and took my painter's tape. This painter tape is so great because it'll go on your jars, it'll stick, then when you get ready to take it off, it comes right off. I have already marked my jar with echinacea root. I'm going to say that it's augustifolia, that I'm using Everclear, and I'm putting today's date on it because I want to know 2 weeks from now that it's ready to strain. Now also, this is an 8-ounce jar, and it is marked like 2, 4, and 6. And then the top of the jar is the 8. And this line's really hard to see, so I'm going to put my tape right on the 4-ounce line so I know that's how full I need to do my jar. Now normally I would have my own echinacea root to be preparing. But I'm in East Texas, we have a lot of sand, which means we have gophers. And your echinacea root needs to be 3 to 4 years old to harvest. And right when I got ready to harvest my echinacea root, those darn gophers ate every single one of them. So I'm using echinacea root from Star West Botanicals. Now when you buy your herbs, they're going to come either chopped and sifted, or they're going to become in a powder form. A powder form is much harder to strain, and it loses its potency faster than what the chopped herbs will. The chopped herbs, as you can see, are about like that. Now to make more of the properties easier to extract with the alcohol, I'm going to run them through a coffee grinder and make them that much smaller. Now I don't want to powder them, I'm just wanting to make them a little bit smaller. I'm going to pour it in there. Just grind them for a little bit. I don't want it powdered. I'm going to use my funnel to get my powders in there. And I just love this little Hamilton Beach coffee grinder because the bowl comes out. Makes it much easier to get in your jar, plus it's so much easier to clean. Now you don't necessarily have to make it smaller because the chopped herbs are fairly small. But I just want to get all the potency out of it I can. Now I'm ready to fill it up with alcohol. Using the Everclear, and I'm going to go all the way to the very top of the jar. I'm going to shake it really good to get that herb completely saturated with the alcohol. And then I'm going to set it on the counter. I'll remember to shake it twice every day. It needs to set for a minimum of 2 weeks. Now all the older herbalists would say that it needed to set for 6 weeks, 4 weeks. The more modern herbalists say that 2 weeks is fine. Now that doesn't mean you have to strain it when it's 2 weeks old. I mean, I've got one, I'm pretty sure I've had sitting around for a year. It just means it needs to be a minimum of 2 weeks. Now I am ready to strain. I could strain it to another jar, but if you have a measured cup, it's going to be much easier to pour into your bottles. Here's my reusable coffee filter. I'm going to shake this up real good before I pour it in there. I'm going to mash it a little bit with this spoon to get as much out as I can. And I'm ready to pour it into my bottle. You see I've marked my bottle with Echinacea root, I've got Augustifolia, I've got the fact I used Everclear, and I'm putting the month and year on here so I know how old it is. An alcohol tincture should last you up to 10 years, depending on how well you take care of it, keep it in the dark, keep it cool, and you're not in and out of it all the time, exposing it to air. I'm going to fill my bottle up. And there I have my Echinacea root tincture. Now, I'm going to keep it stored in here, but I'm going to pour it into a smaller bottle for everyday use. And this will make it last longer because you're getting in and out of this bottle and not in and out of this bottle, exposing it to more and more oxygen. And there you have your Echinacea root tincture. Now you can find this recipe on my website, www.familyguidetoherbs.com, or it's here in my book, The Beginner's Herb Remedy Recipes for Beginners. And you can find it at Amazon or you can find it on my website. And thank you.